couple more minutes before we start, just to have everyone settle down in case any more other people join. So just wait a few minutes and then we'll get started. Okay, I think we're good to go. So before I start, I'll just outline what we're going to do in this webinar. So there'll be two sections to myself speaking, which is the first section will be to inspire eye-level parents and students and perhaps eye-level students to be. And the second section will be an outline of my learning journey in maths and in other pursuits. And the next section will be a Q&A after I've done speaking, where you can send your questions in and I can answer them. So without further ado, I will start my speech about how to inspire eye-level students and parents. So, hello everyone, my name is Abhinav Khanna. I am 15 years old and I study at ESF Renaissance College, Hong Kong. In late 2018, I completed the Eye Level Math program all the way up to level 32. And in the same year, I achieved a World Champion Award in the Eye Level Math Olympiad. But I'm not here to tell you that completing the Eye Level Math program will get you through everything you need to do in maths up until you graduate. I'm not here to tell you that getting an award in the Eye Level Math Olympiad or even being a world champion will mean that you have accomplished the best of the best, that you need not bother with pursuits in mathematics in the future. Reason being, that's just not true. No, the purpose of Eye Level is to not teach you the hardest thing in the book. It's to provide a strong foundation in mathematics, to set you up in prime position to apply this knowledge and skill to bring you further. It's the pillar that you need to step on in order to reach points that you couldn't without that prior foundation. Whether it's participating in the Hong Kong preliminary contest for the International Math Olympiad, or whether it's to ace the test that you need to in order to get into a university that you're aiming for, Eye Level is capable of providing the core skills that you need so that you can develop your ability further from there and develop it well. These things, achieving success in the International Math Olympiad prelims or aiming for a high-end university, are things that I've either done or I'm preparing for. And the only reason I can even think about them is because of the core skills that I have achieved from Eye Level. The reward, if you will, for my dedication to Eye Level. Dedication. Think about that word for a moment. Think about what dedication means to you, because it is something paramount to getting the most out of your time and effort while in the Eye Level program. Many people sign up for the Eye Level program and instantly expect an increase in their mathematical prowess. They instantly go to the sessions, do their booklets, and feel that they should have already developed their ability. They should already be smarter, which is not the way to go about it. Because no matter how much your Eye Level teachers can help you no matter how many booklets you go through yourself, if you don't have that drive to learn, eye level becomes just an unstoppable force meeting an immovable object. To truly reap the benefits of the program, you must find a desire to build your skill. You must be dedicated to it. Now, what may that look like? Regular practice is the key. And I know practice is just a word that gets thrown around all the time, but having that regularity, telling yourself, I've done this amount of work this week, I need to do this much more, really helps in the long term. It's the secret to what makes the Eye Level program so great at providing that foundation. And you'll certainly not be alone in your journey. Your teachers will guide you. They will show you the right way to go about facing a certain roadblock that you may face during your time in Eye Level. And the beauty of the program is that it is flexible. You work at your own pace. Not everyone who does it has to do 5 booklets a week or 4 or even 3. Eye Level's flexibility and kid friendliness are deliberate because it is supposed to be tailored for those looking to develop their skills in basic and critical thinking math from a young age. So there is time to go all the way. There is time to complete the program no matter what pace you work at. I mean, how often do you see a concept comic in the middle of a maths task, which not only serves as a break from the traditional problems on other pages, but also as a creative and different way to explain the concept that you are learning? And these are all just ways which allow Eye Level to sustain students' commitment to the program, to be more than just an interface for maths help and maths problems. And another large aspect of Eye Level, which as being branded as world champion, I feel obliged to discuss, is of course the Eye Level Math Olympiad. Now, many people see this competition as just as an extension of Eye Level, an optional event, which doesn't really have much implication. However, I see it as being a celebration of students' Eye Level commitments throughout the year. This is because I believe that upon my assessment of it, the Eye Level Math Olympiad could not be more reflective of what Eye Level and its math program stands for. If you think about it, the Olympiad, much like the Eye Level program itself, does not have excruciatingly difficult questions. What it does have is the constraint of time. The restriction of time means that students have to do the questions quickly and without error, because there is no time to double check. And hence, you have to be confident in your ability. You have to trust in yourself that your answers are right. And I can assure you, without recent and thorough practice of the source material, it is impossible to succeed. But if you do the past papers and you make mistakes, because at first they are inevitable, you will gain that regularity and you will do enough to get in the rhythm and your mistakes will decrease. You practice enough and you will see yourself at that award ceremony, maybe even hoisting a world champion trophy proudly. And once again, this all links to the overarching purpose of Eye Level: to instill that core mathematical foundation that you need to go above and beyond, further from what you may have achieved either in the Eye Level Math program or the Eye Level Math Olympiad as a child. It's your ticket to cross the bridge to more advanced, more difficult achievements, which you can only reach with the foundation from Eye Level. Every athlete, every musician, every actor started somewhere. Eye Level is your start. Thank you. So now I will go on to part 2 of my webinar, which is an explanation of my learning journey throughout my secondary and even from primary years. And I hope this will also be able to inspire young minds like you to follow in my footsteps and to gain some advice for what to do in the future. So, as I said, I'll now take you on a journey, one of perseverance, success, and failure as well. It is my journey in mathematics and beyond. So I was fortunate enough to start the Eye Level Math program in year 5, and that's primary 4 in local schools. This helped me to achieve my first ever moment of success in maths in the ICAS, International Competitions and Assessments for Schools. This competition held examinations in the subjects of maths, English, science, and writing. And I achieved a high distinction certificate in maths in year 5 of primary 4. And this meant that I was placed in the top 1% of all participants in Hong Kong at my year level. From there, I was just more determined to improve and reach more milestones like this. The following year, in year 6 or primary 5, I missed the high distinction in ICAS maths by 1%, getting in the top 2% for students in my year group in Hong Kong. And I was devastated. It was my first real failure, or at least based on the fact that I didn't meet my goal. But this failure was necessary to my journey. It taught me that in reality, it doesn't always work out as you'd like it to, that there will always be shortcomings like this one. And I kept this in mind going into my secondary years, where I continued to seek opportunities to excel in maths. I was introduced to the UKMT, United Kingdom Mathematics Trust, which is an organization that hosted maths challenges at a junior, intermediate, and senior level. And the competition was just like the ICAS maths exam, but it had harder, longer questions. What I did was I acquired the past papers for the junior maths challenge. I made myself drill through them so I could ingrain the nature of the competition in my mind. This helped me to not only get the best score in my year, but the best score in all of my school out of those that were eligible for the junior competition. At the time, I was in ESF Discovery College. I only moved in ESF Renaissance College this year in year 11 or Form 4. From there, I just wanted to do more. And I think now you're able to see some sort of a pattern. Every time I finish a competition, no matter what the result is, I immediately try to go bigger and do better. I think that's really where I hit the jackpot that allowed me to reach the level where I am now. In year 8, or Form 1 for local schools, my school at the time, Discovery College, presented me with a very exciting opportunity. I was selected to represent my school in the World Mathematics Championships, the qualifier round, hosted in Seoul. I gladly took upon the opportunity as it felt too prestigious not to take. This was the next level that I was so intently looking for. And when I was there, when I went through the rounds, it was nothing that I had ever seen before. There were 9 distinct rounds, some that I did as an individual, some that I did in teams, where you had to do vastly different things in creative ways. You had to implement various strategies, and of course, you had to use your mathematical knowledge to succeed. It was also my first time traveling overseas without a parent, and it was a thrilling experience. I didn't manage to win anything, but this was more of an experience year than anything else. I knew what to do to bounce back the next year, and bounce back I indeed did. I qualified for the finals of the World Maths Championships in 2019 with 2 medals and a top 5% performance. And in year 9, or Form 3, Form 2, I didn't just stop at the World Maths Championships either. I also took part in the Hong Kong International Math Olympiad prelims. And this was one of the hardest math competitions in all of Hong Kong. However, I got a bronze medal in this competition, where it is very hard to even score a single point for more than half of the participants. That just goes to show how high the bar is for the Hong Kong International Math Olympiad prelims. And this is why I consider this achievement to be one of my greatest, even to this day, up there with what I've done in the Eye Level Math Olympiad and what I have done in the World Maths Championships. I feel that I really was able to do this because of my use of critical thinking, which I had developed in Eye Level. My strong suit, even today, is the combinatorics section of the prelims for the International Math Olympiad. The International Math Olympiad prelims, they focus on 4 topics: combinatorics, which are like counting problems, permutations, combinations, geometry, algebra, and number theory. And all of these probability, counting problems, permutations and combinations are all key topics in the Eye Level critical thinking program, which I can safely say I have used to establish this as my strength in the competition. In the next few years, I participated in the senior World Math Championships and other STEM-related competitions outside of math upon changing my school from Discovery College to Renaissance College. Such competitions outside of mathematics include an inter-school innovation fair, where I devised a plant monitoring system. And also another competition example is a virtual STEM competition hosted by Texas Instruments. Texas Instruments, you might know, is a brand that makes calculators that you may use. If you were to take away one thing from this webinar, it's to never stop aiming for more than what you think you are capable of. Never allow age or anything else restrict you. As a year 10 student, I was still able to not only qualify for the Senior World Math Championships finals at Melbourne, but also get 4 medals in the finals. And by the way, the threshold for the Senior World Math Championships is being at least a year 11 student or Form 4 student in local schools, yet I was a year 10 or Form 3 student. I pushed for my inclusion, and they were nice enough to let me get an opportunity to participate, even if I was younger than the regular participant. It brought me ahead of the game so that I could experience earlier and allow more time for myself to grow, to go bigger and do better. And if you do the same, if you get ahead of the game and you stay there, maintain that discipline and maintain that commitment to maximize your successes and widen your learning outcome, it will certainly be in your favor. I wish you all the best in your future endeavors. Thank you. And now I am happy to take any questions from students or parents in this Q&A session that we will host now. You can either type your question in the chat, or you can unmute your mic and ask me anything about anything I've said. So does anyone have any questions? It can be about anything. Either type it in the chat or you can speak. Either is fine. If we don't have any questions, I can pose you guys a question. If any of you are willing to answer or are comfortable with it. Think about what success you've achieved and what you want to achieve in the future. Think about where you are at in your schooling career. What capabilities, what opportunities do you have for your future? Think about what competitions that you may aspire to do in what subjects. Oh, we have a question here. Thank you very much. How did you overcome your difficulties while you were learning math? That's a very good question, and certainly very relevant, because you are going to face a lot of difficulties. So I think to specify, one of my main difficulties while learning math was to grasp like the various amount of concepts, because math is such a wide subject. Like there are so many different subtopics within math that you need to look at, such as like combinatorics, number theory, algebra, geometry, even at a higher, if you are at a higher level, like calculus or trigonometry or anything like that. So finding a balance and developing all of these is very hard, at least even for me. So what I did was I focused on specific topic. Like I said, I established combinatorics as my strength. This I got help from Eye Level from, but I also used sources such as the UKMT books. They have written many very interesting and very helpful books upon certain topics, such as combinatorics, which I use to gain an edge in that specific subtopic. And once I established that as my strength, I moved on to other things in maths, such as algebra or anything related. So thank you for asking that question once again. It's a very relevant and very valid question that I think um, applies to pretty much all of you, no matter where you are in your journey. Does anyone else have any other questions? Uh, do you have any specific job that you want to have in the future? That is a very good question. Um, I have not exactly finalized what career path I'm going on. However, I'm a very STEM-oriented student. I am planning to gain a course in computer sciences in university, and then I will look into a career from there after I graduate. So thank you for asking that question. One thing I would like to add about, which is related to future career, if you have any idea about what you want to do, it is very important, I'd say, to do what you think is important to gain an edge on. Like for example, if you know that your future job, whatever you want it to be, requires math or a specific topic in math, like statistics, um, research about that and learn more about what you want to do. Obviously, this is more tailored to those older students, maybe secondary students. But even if you're a primary student and um, and you have some idea, you have some idea of what you want to do, you can do that research. You have the resources, you have online resources, you have your parents and teachers, um, and you also have eye level too. If you're an eye level student, your eye level teachers can certainly assist you in that regard. So that is so there are many resources that you can use to research, which is very important in my opinion. So thank you for that question. Do we have any other questions? We have quite a few minutes left. Um, there is no really fixed time when this webinar ends. It will just end, I guess, when our time, like adequate time for this Q&A has elapsed. So I think we can bring it to 5:30 unless you have further questions afterwards. Does anyone else have any questions? What competition did you feel was the most difficult? That's a very good question. So I've done a variety of different competitions, and each of these competitions are a different style. Like some of them are sit down tests, some of them are in teams where you have to think about more creative ways to show a problem or to show a solution to a problem. And I think, as I said before, a competition that I felt was very challenging is the International Math Olympiad preliminary contest. To give more background about what this is, it's basically, it's hosted by the Hong Kong Academy for Gifted Education. I don't know if you've heard about that or not, but the Hong Kong Academy for Gifted Education hosts the International Math Olympiad preliminary contest because they use the results from that to select certain people to train for the actual International Math Olympiad, which is hosted in a different location in the world every single year. And the questions there are on a different level. They're like, they're much harder than anything you'll see in even your final years of schooling. And they're really just for people who are really dedicated and know that they want a future in maths and really almost maths alone, because if you have to commit that much to mathematics, it may come at the stake of other subjects that you want to do. So the International Math Olympiad prelims, I feel that's a very difficult competition that I've done. And it's also one I haven't achieved a lot of success in. We have another question: how to keep focus for revision? I think a very important aspect of revision is a plan. And a plan, not just a plan of what you want to do, a plan of what you want to do in a certain time. Because obviously time is limited for everyone. You need to think about what you want to achieve based on the time that you have, because you have other commitments too. You can't dedicate your entire time to math, obviously, because you have other subjects in school, you have other school commitments, you have extracurricular activities too. So if you assess how much time you have and plan what stuff you want to do in math, or even this can apply for other subjects too. If you set aside some time, like every week or every month, or even yearly, for what you want to achieve in this year or something, it could help a lot, because then you can assess, did I meet this goal? Did I meet this goal within my certain time frame? And if you didn't, it can you can self-reflect on this and adjust your goals, adjust your strategies, um, to revise and to improve your skills. Thank you for that question. Once again, these questions are all very good. Keep them coming. They're all very valid questions that I feel are very relevant for all of you, no matter really where you are in your journey. So well done, guys. Do we have any other additional questions? Remember, you can ask multiple questions if you want. You can don't be afraid to ask anything, even if you may think it might be a question that's not the smartest. It's fine. If you have a question and you genuinely believe it's good, it is valid. Oh, we have another question here. How Eye Level program helps you in math? So I summarized this earlier, but I'll just talk about it briefly. Eye Level Math provides you a good foundation. So basically, it strengthens your core skills. Whatever topic you're doing in Eye Level, it makes you practice them a lot, and it helps you strengthen them so that you don't make as much mistakes in them. You don't forget them as much as you would if you didn't do Eye Level. Eye Level helps you to ingrain the concepts in your mind because of the practice and because of how regular they allow you to do these booklets and go to their center and assist you in math. So I feel that Eye Level Math program really helps in Eye Level Math program really helps in helping you be able to develop your skills afterwards without much difficulty, because I feel that it is much more difficult to develop your skills if you don't have that foundation. How do you plan your study schedule? So this is another very good question, and this doesn't need to apply to math either. If you have strengths in English or science or any other thing, this question is very relevant. So your study schedule, if you are trying to it depends on what your goals are basically. So if you're trying to develop your skills in math, especially alongside your school requirements, you should prioritize what you need to do in maths without forgetting about your other requirements, and without detrimenting the quality of your schoolwork and what you need to do outside of maths. So once again, time is very important. Take out some time in your week. For example, allocate this day to maths or English or your specialized subject, and allocate the rest of the days in lower quantities for your other requirements. Always remember that it is much better to do multiple smaller sessions than one big session. Obviously, you've probably heard from your teachers, of course, don't cram for exams all the time right before the deadline, because it's hard to get all of that information in a day. It is much easier to gain a little bit every day and continue building upon that, because then you have the time and you have the flexibility to think about where you need to improve, think about what you need to work on and where your strengths are. So if you have regular sessions, like maybe every day or every other day for practicing what you need to do, but you don't need to do it like, say, 6 or 7 hours a day. That's just too much. If you do it, if you have a regular schedule like that, based on your time frame and based on what your goals are, I think it would be very beneficial to you in the long term, and to achieve success in various competitions or anything of the sort. So good question there. Thank you. And we're going to entertain any more questions. Does anyone else have any more questions? If not, I think we can end the webinar here. thank you all for your time. Thank you for listening, and thank you for asking questions. I hope you've gained something from this, from both the speech part of the webinar and the Q&A section. And once again, I wish you all the best and good luck. So yeah, thank you once again, and you're very, very welcome.